Hello, welcome back. Somber here. This is the next in my series of multiplayer turns taken with the Cathay. We're playing as using the Warhammer mod for Dominion 6. We're playing in a game with all of the nations. A couple have already been eliminated. Ulthuan, the High Elves, and Skaven Blights the Skaven. They are gone from the game. It is turn number 28. We should have Eyes of God up this turn, so we've got a lot to look at. Got some Guardian Beasts, cast the Eyes of God, so we can see the entire world now and all the graphs. We'll have a look at those this turn. Animate Guardian Beasts, whiffed on a search. Altdorf has a new proclamation. They've got a Holy 4 there because they've got a Holy 3 they've prophesized. Could be useful against the Tomb Kings. Then we have some battles. We've got Vampiria attacking Independence. Just some undead against a big old row of harvesters. So that's an easy win for them. We won't have lost any. Ogres attacking Bone Nose, who are our current enemies in the Obsidian Waste. Just Province Defense, so an easy win for them. We attacking the Caves of Madness, which is an underwater cave. So we've sent down Yu Qiang. He's got classic stuff, Black Steel Barding. He's got lots of experience stars and a heroic ability, which is Tough Skin. So he is very tough. And they've just got some Province Defense down there, so I'll just put that on super fast, but we'll skip a couple rounds there even. So very straightforward slaughter of those guys. Battle in Jira, Norska attackers. So this is what we expected would happen. I sent them a diplomatic overture of have some money to go away, and they ignored it. So they want to attack us. So in Jira we've got some hounds, and then very minimal raid in Jira. Just some Huskarls and some Reavers and Thralls, and not Thralls. Are they Thralls? No, those are Hunters. And we've just got minimal Province Defense, so that's an easy one for them. That's using their sailing ability. A battle in Fowenshire. This is a place that we had moved some of our forces that were attacking together and a bunch of Province Defense. So we've mostly got Terracotta Soldiers, we've got a handful of Iron Body Monks, some of them do have experience stars, and then we've got our Cavalry Regiment there as well. We've got some Province Defense. They've sent in their God with a buffer with him there. Borehub.com, he's got Water Breathing Ring, Stone Bird. Obviously, his paths mean he can cast, regeneration, get his protection up. So he's got protection 19. Let's watch what he casts. So we've got Quickness being cast by his buffer, and he is casting Personal Iron Skin to put his protection up. And then they're going to cast Enlarge and Temper Flesh. Temper Flesh, very important one to get the physical resistances. The enlarge makes him bigger, which is very useful for regen purposes. Flying Shields, which is going to give him that 50% chance to block basically any attack. The buffer retreats. And then personal regeneration last. I think he's already got regeneration. Yeah, he's got 10%, so he's going to have 20% regeneration. So we have no chance of killing him with the forces that are here. These are guys to fight conventional fights. They're not there to fight kind of a monster like this. And he's casting Elemental Fortitude as well. That's just in case we had some fire attacks. I guess we've got solar weapons on our monks. So this will be very one-sided. He's just going to crush those. He's also, of course, gone berserk, so his protection gets pumped up a lot more by going berserk. And he, of course, can't react. He will get tired out. You can see he's occasionally getting hit, and then he'll just immediately regenerate 38 hit points. The monks go in, but nothing I've got hits hard enough really to get through that protection, let alone all the regen. But his hit points have gone down a bit from his because he was over his max, so he has been hit. 191, I think that's now down to his standard max, is that? Big Dominion bonus, enlargement. 112 is his max normally, but he's got these bonuses. So yeah, all these guys are going to get killed. You can see he's taking the occasional turn off now, where he's too tired out. I don't think he's got any... He does have very basic reinvigoration, 1 reinvigoration, which is enough to wake him up every time he falls asleep. He gets up and does some more trampling. So at this point, if we had some guys who hit hard, they would be able to get some armor negating hits through and do some damage. You can see he's taking a little bit of damage, but by this point, we've kind of run out of guys to hit him with. And of course, the regen is more than enough to keep his hit points up. The fact he's got that underwater ring means he's probably going to try and take back that cave province, because they've got a bunch of things down there. I'll show you. I've seen that, but I'll show you a bit later. So our guys retreat. So we lose some stuff there, but it's to be expected. 4 Iron Body Monks, some Dynasts, some Jade Lancers, and then a bunch of Terracotta. We're not really bothered by the Terracotta and the Promise Defense. But yeah, a good, effective strategy. Well played by Bone Nose. And Fowenshire, they guessed correctly about where some of our troops would be. I think it was because Fowenshire is kind of a central province and it's quite a big population, so that's probably why he targeted it, to get that back, get some income. A valuable one. Then we attack in Dragon Point, where we are encountering a lot of Bone Nose. So we've got significant numbers. These are all big uns. Big uns are really pretty good, and he's got a lot of them. He's also got a lot of his sacreds, the War Boys. They're not terribly expensive, but his bless is fairly good. And we've also got, who else is present? We've got a Savage Orc Great Shaman. We've got a regular Shaman, and then we've got one of his unique heroes, Grokogorax. So pretty significant commitment here. What do we have? Our force, less significant commitment, although we do have a lot of our sacreds, and these are sacreds that have been around since the start of the game and have experience stars. So these are going to do all the work. We have a bunch of Sky Lantern soldiers, but they're not going to do that much against this many tough troops. And we've got a handful of additional troops. I mean, some of these have been around since the start of the game as well. So high quality, higher quality than his fewer numbers. He's got more mage supports, but the mages aren't doing a huge amount. I think they're casting. Are they enlarging? So they're enlarging Grokogorax, and he might be quickened as well. Not sure, but he's going to go berserk. So we'll just play through this one at full speed. So our Sky Lanterns just going to do great damage against this kind of light infantry and things, and our monks will easily slaughter the way through those, and then the monks are going to have a hell of a grind getting through all these guys. There's a lot of them. So Grokogorax goes in first. Bit of a scripting mistake there. If he had gone in at the same time as everything else, he would do a lot better, but he's there on his own, and he is going to get, of course, beaten up by the monks. Just doesn't have the defense skill or the protection. So Groko gets killed, and then we make contact with the big blob of them. So we've also got all of these guys with their bless, of course, which is reinvigoration. Oh, that's where the reinvigoration on the boar came from. It's a good idea to wake him up. Regeneration strength. So they're pretty tough war base, but it's not a huge bless. It doesn't really help them, their combat skills or anything like that. So our regular troops are going to get killed here. Our monks are doing well, but our regular troops are going to get overwhelmed by just this many big uns, especially with a lot of them berserking. And a lot of the monks are going to get overwhelmed and killed, I imagine, as well. But for now, they're holding up. You can see our Sky Lantern troops picking away, hitting some targets out on the flank. Oh, we've got one Celestial Guard still alive, but I think he's routed. We've got another Savage Orc boss, this one with moss body and enlarged, coming into fight. They're pretty strong, but the monks will probably be able to deal with him. Oh, well, he's routed, so they're not going to get a chance. And in go the Sky Lantern troops into close combat. They're definitely much less good in close combat. They just don't really have the protection and defense to stay alive, but they can get through these lightly armored troops. They have these torch spears. The flame from those, of course, ignores the invulnerability that the Savage Orcs have, so that's a factor. And yeah, I didn't mention, but of course, we've got a Dragonblood Lord on the back lines as well. Poisoned up. How did he get so poisoned? We'll have to check that. And asleep? Knocked out already? His fatigue's so high. It's been successful against this back line. When I'll replay this battle and I'll just see what he gets up to. We've managed to win at the front. The Berserk has caused a lot of casualties. A lot of our monks are dead. And a lot of our torch troops are dead too. He has overcome the poison on 2 hit points. Whew. Is he bleeding? Profuse bleeding, that's what it is, yeah. So I think Lei Gong is gonna be out of here. Yep, he is dead. So what was it that went wrong with him? Let's watch. If we go back to that battle in Dragon Point, and we'll just watch what happens with him. So he does Personal Mist form. Personal Iron Skin. His problem really is he doesn't have any items at all. This is a very low commitment Dragon Blood. Flying Shield. But he's pretty tired at this point. Fire Shield. Probably a bridge too far Fire Shield, maybe. He's only got the 1 fire, so he's very fatigued. So we'll just watch what happens with him. Zoom ahead a bit. Off he goes. He comes down in the rear. So he's right next to all of these commanders at the back. So we've got heal being cast. He's already fatigued 76, but he is starting to kill their commanders. Blood poisoning. There you go. Blood poisoning is a really nasty spell. Very effective. And there you go. The blood poisoning hits not him, I think, but his mount. Word of Thorns and things being cast on him. He's chopping up stuff at the back. Yeah, I imagine it's just blood poisoning that gets him. I mean, he's doing his job. Yeah, blood poisoning casting him. And he's already got profuse bleeding. I actually don't know when he got profuse bleeding. Poison, poison. I guess the poison caused profuse bleeding. That's strange. I didn't think it could. That's kind of unlucky. Off he flies. Gets shot with blood poisoning again. So that's annoying. For some reason, instead of attacking those 2 mages that were right next to him, he's gone and attacked in the back here. And he ends up fighting these arrow boys. I mean, he kills a few Savage Orcs. So he definitely does his job in helping us win the battle, but if he had gone and attacked those mages, probably would have been a lot more effective. So I'm guessing those retreat successfully, yeah. So, oh well. We lose a Dragon Blood Lord. We lose 19 Iron Body Monks. It's not great to lose that many, especially high experienced ones. But we do kill a lot of Savage Orcs. So 143 Biggins dead, 22 boys, 31 War Boys, which are much harder to replace, of course. And they did lose 2 bosses, and they lost the Fury of Gork commander as well. And I don't know, maybe they lost some stuff in the retreat, but I doubt it. They had a lot of their own territory around. What's next? Junal Forest. Athel Lauren attacks the Savage Orcs. An easy win against just some basic promise defense. Norska attack us in Dunes of Death. So here we have a row of Crystal Sorceresses casting Summon Storm Power, which I don't think does anything. I think this might be a misplay by the player here because there's no storms, so they're not going to get any extra air magic. We've got some Bear Struck, and we've got a bunch of Reavers. And they're going to be casting Body Ethereal after they cast that, I imagine. Yes, they're putting some Ethereality on the Reavers, which is a good plan. We have some Province Defense, and then we've got a bunch of Terracottas, and we've got a small number of Iron Body Monks, but, you know, they've got a good bless for fighting this force. So we'll see how that goes. Just zoom through these first rounds with the bases getting killed. So yeah, lots of body ethereal cast successfully. It's going to be up to the Iron Body monks to deal with these. So they're running in on this bear struck. Of course, they've got the solar weapons that helps get past invulnerability. And they just immediately clobber him, so that's very effective. And they get stuck in here, and the terracottas are helping out. The terracottas' high morale is very useful here, so they do end up routing. And these guys have all kind of cheated fate and so on, and body etherealed each other. Let's zoom through this. So we're struggling a bit because of the ethereality. Monks kill another bear struck. Monks kill another bear struck. And they're starting to rout. And their mages are getting away. So a bit unfortunate, but we do win that one. We probably lost a couple of monks there, I'd imagine, maybe. Let's have a look. Dunes of Death. 3 Iron Body monks dead. Some terracottas dead. Overall, not too bad. 16 reavers dead. You know, they're 16 gold each. Some bear strucks, but they escaped with their sorcerers. So it looks like Norska only attacked us in the places that we weren't really defending. You know, we did an okay job on Dunes of Death, but then they're attacking Walden. This is their main army. We've got a bunch of guys also casting Storm Power. And then we've got some Mist Forms, Divine Blessing, and then of course we've got tons of Chosen with Experience Stars. And they've got a very effective Bless, Awe and Fear. So, yeah, very, very tough one. The thing to do against things with Awe and Fear, especially these guys, would be to shoot them with crossbows. Because engaging them in combat is very hard. So off they go. This is just Province Defense, this all just gets flattened. Yeah, it's going to be a tough fight. They don't lose anyone. Felden Forest, we attack Bone Nose. And Personal Mist Form, this is our Thunder Whip. Dragonblood. Mist Form, Stone Skin, Fire Shield. He doesn't want to cast Iron Skin because he'd electrocute himself. And he just beats some Province Defense there. That's fine. Then we've got Battle at the Fortress of Middenheim. This is just a scouting poke, and we can see what they've got defending it. Not very much, so they're going to storm that next turn, and that shouldn't be too much of a problem for the vampires to take. Lyncher, Calf with 3 heads. Windswept Desert, a village dweller has turned red. Great, all these lovely portents. Witherland, we've got some unrest from a monster boar. I'll have to have a look at that. Felden Forest, village dweller has turned red. Great. Frosted Peaks, a warlock has been caught red-handed and we've confiscated the blood slaves. To keep them safe? Question mark. We've gotten rid of the gnawing rats in Northia. That's good. And we've got a unique hero who's joined the cause. Yuanbo, the immortal Jade Dragon, Lord of Shangwu, Administrator of the Realm, Master of the Meteor Winds, and the Emperor's Executioner, has joined our cause, for now in his humanoid guise, but able to at any time assume his true and mighty draconic form. Yuanbo, the immortal Jade Dragon, has joined. They're really good. I'll show you that to you in a moment. Unexpected event. A bunch of gems. Bought for the price that Study Hard intended. 1 gold. So that's nice. Miratrand, we lose some province income. We've completed the construction in the castle at Spring Spires, and then we're into the turn. So, first things first, let's look at our fun new hero. He is Yuanbo. He's got a humanoid form, but I've turned him into his dragon form. You can see he's got great paths, very, very powerful magic. He's got fear, lots of attacks and things. I've put a Flask of Holy Water on him so that he doesn't have to spend a turn blessing himself. He is a Holy 3, but he doesn't have to spend a turn blessing himself. And I am going to, because I think I'm going to really struggle to beat this army. It depends where they attack. They can travel, because they can sail, they can travel to many different places. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attack Norska and go for their economy, because their number of provinces they've got, you can see I've got Eyes of God up, so I can see a lot of stuff now. Not very many provinces, and we're just going to hit a row of provinces behind them there and knock those over. So we're sending Yuanbo in here to deal with Bitra. We're sending in Mugong over here to deal with Wayspring Grove, and Chilad we're attacking with Pa. So hopefully just knocking those 2 provinces over without much difficulty. And then we're protecting the following provinces. Kunaral, we're giving up on Ratha. If they hop over to Ratha, fine. It's not connected to the other provinces, so they're less likely to do that, I would say, because they get less income from doing that. But they could do it. And if they, were defeated, they'd rout and it'd be a big problem for them. I wonder if I managed to stop any of those guys retreating. Maybe they lost some people in the retreat, because there are various provinces connected to this that they could have accidentally fled to, but I don't think so. Walden, yeah, not attacking in Walden. They're going to move out of it, so I possibly should have attacked in Walden. It would make sense. They're not going to sit there patrolling. There is a chance that they could do that, but they should be just attacking us. We could, instead of attacking Beatra, which could potentially have more troops moving through it, we could attack Walden, but Walden could also have troops moving into it. We can't. Eyes of God only lets you see kind of provinces and sites. It doesn't let you see, and they can sail quite a long way as well. It doesn't let you see the troops that are in those provinces. You do need scouts for that, and I could do with having a lot more scouts up here. So what we're doing is we're defending Bay Pond with a significant force. Lots of monks. The Auran Fear is going to make it hard. Terracottas kind of ignore that, but and we've also got Guardian Beasts that ignore it too. And we've got a fair bit of ranged, but not a vast amount of ranged. So that's what we're doing in Bay Pond. We're hiring some peasant archers. Is that a good idea? Can I afford some crossbowmen instead? I can afford one crossbowman. Let's do that and get a scout. So yeah, we're mounting a defense in Bay Pond. We're also mounting a defense in Kunaral. I'd like to be able to mount a defense in just one place, but it's not going to be possible. So we're patrolling Kunaral. We've got a lot more archers here, lots of monks, some terracottas and things. I think their force could beat individually these forces, but we'll see. I think, it's fun to kind of try and protect as many provinces as possible. Dunes of Death. We've got some more forces. It's not an amazing army, but we've got a few. We've got a bunch of mages casting various different things. I won't go too much into that, but we've got those there, and we're doing a lot of like weapons of sharpness and giant strength warriors and so on to try and overcome some of their abilities. But it's a tough bless. It's going to be difficult to take them on. We are moving some troops back, but not very many. And down here against Bone Nose, we are attacking Fowenshire coming out of the water. So let me show you the cave system. See, all of this just got cut off by me taking this province, and I think they'll probably want all of that back and send their boar there. So I suspect their boar is going to go to Witherland. Now, he might not because it is my dominion. I suspect he's going to go to Witherland. There's various other places he could go. Anywhere he ends up, he's going to be able to beat any kind of regular mundane army we have. We'll have to build some stuff to specifically kill him. Like, I am forging some swords of sharpness, for instance. We are going to move out of the Caves of Madness here. I could try and keep going further, but I don't want to end up with my Dragonblood trapped. So he's going to attack Fowenshire instead on the basis that the boar will move somewhere else. And we're also going to attack Moliton on the basis that it's not likely to have troops patrolling it with Halshian, who is our Thunder Whip guy. So we're attacking those two. And then we're sending a very small force to attack Umidor, because I don't think that the boar will end up in Umidor, or other troops will end up in Umidor. I think that will end up not being defended. So we're just attacking it with some cavalry set on hold and attack rear on the basis that we can put one more hold in there. On the basis that we can maybe commander snipe some province defense there and take that. The troops in Dragon Point, although they're a bit beaten up and they've got quite a lot of stuff facing them down, I don't think the boar can make it there. I don't think that 20 map move is enough to make it there. So we're mounting a defense there. I've thrown some province defense in there as well. And we're just going to see if we can take out some more of their troops that might try and take out Dragon Point. They might not think we're moving there, or they might think we're moving somewhere else. I'm not sure. You can see Athel Lauren's punched in here, taking a bunch of things, including sieging one of their throne provinces that's fortified. But I'm just looking to kind of keep the fight going, like keep them off balance, Bone Nose. I think they've kind of expressed the desire to attack me and not fight Athel Lauren so much, and maybe not fight the Ogres. They might just be moving lots of their stuff towards me. I don't know. We'll have to see. So we're trying to mount a defense against Norska. and we're trying to continue to keep Bonos off balance and kind of gain from the various different provinces we've taken. Lots of them have a lot of sites, like this one, Stone Circle, Graveyard of the Damned, Dancing Lights, and Deep Crevasse. I mean, this is lovely gem income to be stealing off him. He's obviously had really good gem income. Speaking of gem income, let's have a quick look at the scoreboard. So provinces, we were in the middle of the pack. We're now up a lot, but of course we're being attacked by Norska. This is going to go down a bit. Obviously, you can see Bone Nose was the game leader in provinces until I attacked him and Athelloren attacked him, and then he's gone down to the middle of the pack. But he's still got tons of stuff left. Black Crag obviously still has tons left. We can see all of the nations that have kind of fallen apart here. Tzeentch and so on. Slaanesh is very low down too. Norska is low down, but obviously in a pretty good position. They haven't really lost stuff or taken that much of an attack, and they're now really full on going for me. So we'll see if I can do a good job fighting a two-front war and fighting them. Forts-wise, we are middle of the pack. Vampyria and Nuln have tons. Altdorf and Nagarond, lots of forts. And then most people kind of middle of the pack, lots of stuff in the middle of the pack. It's really just Vampyria, Nuln, Altdorf, and Nagarond kind of breaking ahead there. Income-wise, this is a big drop here. There must have been some global event. It's probably unrest. Oh, it was the nighttime, the like global darkness event that caused that. You can see even though we had really quite good scales, we've never really had the best income. We've kind of been middle of the pack until fairly recently. We've kind of curved a bit more out above people here. And now we're in second place for income behind Athelloren. Athelloren, as we have seen from province counts, way out in front, like way out in front. This is a big number of provinces. The gap between us, because this was us taking, I think, 10 provinces. So I think they're 11 provinces ahead of us even. And a lot of ours are looking quite shaky, like we're not going to be able to keep hold of them. And yeah, their income is fantastic, and it has always been good. They've always had income above ours. So Athelloren, very strong economically. Gem income-wise, take a look at this. So Bone Nose actually way ahead of everyone on gem income. I have no idea what this was. Who is that? Tzeentch. Tzeentch got a massive amount of gem income and then it just disappeared. Strange. Probably events, I guess. So Bone Nose has been out ahead the whole time. Karazakarak's got a lot as well. They've got really good site searches. We are now up there in gem income, but we haven't been. If you look at the area under the graph, it's Bone Nose that's got huge amounts of gem income. They've lost a bunch because we've hit their gem-rich lands, but they've still got their global giving them gems. We are only just kind of up there now in terms of gems. Even though we were site searching fairly aggressively, we were always kind of middle of the pack. Blood income, not much to know here. I mean, Khorne's doing some. We can see there was some. Is that Ogre's doing some blood hunting? Why can't I see the ogre flag? There is. Yeah, ogres were doing some blood hunting, but then they got stopped from doing it by being in wars, I think. Research-wise, we've been doing fine, kind of middle of the pack and then curving up above. So we're in the top of the pack really. But then we've got two absolute standouts, Itza and Zarnagrund. Particularly Itza, you can see, is scaling up like crazy. Zarnagrund's got the bigger area under the graph, but Itza's in the lead in research now and scaled up a lot. And they have a good number of provinces too, more than us. So I would say at the moment, just based on research, gem income in the middle there, income very good. And as far as I know, they're not in horrifying wars like us. So I would say that at the moment, Itza, the Lizardmen, are in the lead of the game. That would be my conclusion to that. Zarnagrund's got lots. You can see the Bone Nose is no slouch in research either. They're only a bit behind us. Dominion, Bone Nose in the lead again. So Bone Nose really just game leader up until just very recently, being attacked by everyone. They're in a war with 3 people now. The Ogres came very close to losing completely from Dominion down here. Ulthuan also I think they got killed off before their Dominion ran out, or maybe they got dumb killed, I'm not sure, but yeah, they nearly got killed off, Goldtooth Tribe, Dominion-wise, but yeah. Army size, Bone Nose way, way, way out in front of everyone else, like crazy army size. They had a big loss there at the same time as, is that Tzeentch having a big loss of their army? No, who is that in the... Oh, this is Middenheim getting flattened. Altdorf obviously had that big drop against Nehekara there. But yeah, they had a big drop there. They recovered a lot, and just recently they have taken massive losses. So this is a combination of Athelloren attacking them. Obviously, we started attacking them around here, and the ogres were fighting them too. So their armies have been kind of halved. This is the lowest point it's been for a long time. But bear in mind, they've still got nearly as many troops as we do. So yeah, they're taking huge casualties, but they're still very much in it. Ascension Point, no one's really got that much. Just, people haven't got into the taking lots of thrones point. So that is the score graphs. Let's just have a quick look at the world as we see it. So we know who the big nations are, who the small nations are. You can see Black Crag, big nation. Bone Nose, still pretty big. Ogres were kind of spread out and they were taking over Zinch, but they've been fighting with Black Crag and apparently they've been losing quite a bit there, I think. They're struggling a bit with that war. They may piece out of that. It wouldn't surprise me if they just took some stuff back and gave up on that so they could deal with Zinch. So probably Ogre's not going to keep fighting against Bone Nose. Athelloren probably will because they've said specifically that they want to take over that global. They're offended by them having the Mother Oak. What else have we got? Neighbours to Vampiria. We've got Kislev. Nehekara looking a bit small. They did have that good win against Altdorf, but if Altdorf's still big. Vampiria's next to them. They're a bit in a position similar to ours, where they've got all of these kind of thematically, potentially hostile nations around them. What have we got over here? We've got Khorne looking fairly beefy, a bit wide. The dwarfs looking pretty strong, and the dwarfs are now going for Slanesh's cap, is this? Where is Slanesh's capital? That's where Bretonnia is, who is down to basically nothing. That's Slanesh, but they've kind of stopped. Yeah, their capital is under siege from the dwarfs. So Slanesh, short time to live. Bretonnia, presumably in a similar situation. Nurgle looking fairly virulent, let's say. Got a lot of unconquered seas here that I wasn't expecting. You'd think that the Dark Elves would have taken some of those. Dark Elves, Nuln have got tons of fortresses. Tilia, I mean, interesting. Lots of stuff to look out for, and I'll try and get some kind of comments from the players and add those to my videos. But yeah, interesting times. I'm going to have difficulty fighting Norska. I think I'm going to have to rely on hitting their economy and kind of weathering out the storm against them. This stack, if it just keeps moving around as a single stack, is going to be a nightmare, but that's life. Bone Nose, he's a good player, in my opinion, and he played well here. They've taken out one of my Dragon Bloods over there. Didn't have any items, and he got hit with the blood poisoning. Probably worth me forging some anti-poisoning type rings, because I have the spare misc slots. To avoid that blood poisoning, we could use snake rings. So let's forge a couple of snake rings, and we can get those on some Dragon Bloods, get them out there. Could be helpful. Useful to just have some of those things anyway, so we'll just build those. It's interesting, right? We'll see how Yuanbo does. I don't really want to be using him to attack, but we're kind of in a desperate situation where we need to hit Norska and kind of repel them a little bit. Put the pressure on them, put them off balance a little so we're not just completely on the defensive. And I just decided to use Yuanbo for that. I think it's kind of an interesting use for him. Yeah, Beastlands have started staling, by the way, so they're kind of out of the game, I think. They may be just going to leave their guys protecting their capital. It doesn't look like Black Crag's in any hurry. So, yeah, we'll see what the next turn brings. That is everything for this turn. Oh, there was one thing I was going to check, which is where was that monster boar? Monster boar. Witherland. So that is not our concern. The other boar's probably going to end up on that, so let's not worry about that. Okay, let's see what the next turn brings. It's turn number 29. We are Cathay, and we are at war with the Bone Nose tribe, the Savages, Savage Greenskins of the South, and we are at war with the Northmen, the Vikings of Norska. We received 200 gold from Nagorond. This was in exchange for some graph information that we sold to them. They were looking to invade another nation nearby. That nation was not one of my putative allies. It was Chaos Dwarfs, potentially. So we think, yeah, let the bad guys fight each other, and we sold them some information. Types of battles. Battle in Umidor. We attack in Umidor. It was a very small force we attacked with. It was just some cavalry and a little bit of terracotta. They've got province defense, but then they've also got an actual army there, so we lose that one in Umidor. I don't think that's really worth watching. Not much happens there. We lose some Jade Lancers, which is not ideal, and we kill a little bit of them, but not very much. That was just one where we thought they wouldn't have an army there, and they did. We have a battle in Chilad. This is us attacking, trying to get a bit of a strike back and put some pressure on Norska. They've got some actual forces here as well as province defense. They've got some hunters and some warhounds. We've sent in one of our Dragonbloods. He's casting Earth Power, Iron Skin. The Earth Dragonbloods are some of the stronger ones, to be honest with you, because they can cast Earth Power and because they just don't tend to have the fatigue problems the others do. He's casting Flying Shield and Iron Skin, and then Fire Shield, probably. He is armed with a Mace of Eruption and some Braces of Protection. He does not have any protection on his Longma, but that should be sufficient. The Fire Shield goes up. That's going to destroy those dogs fairly easily. In come the hunters. They're going to throw some harpoons at him. I think one of the harpoons struck the Longma there and did a bit of damage. Off he goes. He's going to attack the rear. He might get hit by this Norscan chieftain. They're actually pretty good. Statted up pretty well. I mean, he is clearly the stronger combatant, but he might get hit by it. In come the Marauders. They've got long weapons. The Fire Shield's not as good against them. But you can see the Fire Shield is just picking them off. So this is good. We've managed to kill some Norscan troops here that were just either moving through this province or were being raised in this province and had gotten a commander to lead them yet. And we win that one. What did we kill? 15 hunters, 13 warhounds, a scout and a chieftain. Yeah, it's not bad to pick those off. We see a battle in Illidar. This is a very small force consisting of a Lich Priest, a Tomb Prince, with a lifelong protection. Okay, so they're using lifelong protection to raid this. This province does not stand a chance against lifelong protection. It's just going to keep dropping imps. And meanwhile, they'll probably just stay back and cast some things. Oh, the Tomb Prince is going to go in. So what are his stats? Pretty strong. You know, he's blessed. So he's got that very powerful bless that Nehekara's got. This is a very efficient way of just raiding provinces. Very, very powerful kind of anti-province thug, raid thug. You can use them in armies too with lifelong protection. Anything you send them, it's always going to be useful. A battle in Ibis. This is the Beastmen, just some province defense, getting killed by, of course, the god of Black Crag. I suspect Black Crag are going to attack me because I think they're allied with Bone Nose, and because once they've dealt with the Beastmen, I am sort of an obvious target, I guess. It's a bit of a diagonal for them, but I think they'll get involved in that. And they've obviously got some good items on this guy. They've got Ring of Water Breathing on him, so they can send him after my water provinces, of course. Nothing I could do about that. He's just very, very tough, very hard to beat. You can't soul slay him because he's mindless. You just kind of have to chop him up. So they've both got these very strong awake gods, and we'll have to come up with a way of dealing with those if we need to. The best thing to do is to fly past them and mess up their lands and kind of not worry about them too much, just lose the odd province to them. Battle in Fowenshire, speaking of which, we've got one of our Dragonbloods. So this was the province that had just been retaken by their Pretender, and I figured the Pretender's definitely not going to stay in that province, so I sent my thug in. Normal script. This guy's Yu Qiang, he's my strongest Dragonblood. Off he goes. He's got quite a high fatigue script, but easily enough to beat up some Ictids. Keep the pressure on Bone Nose, keep the fighting in their territory, that's very important. Give Athel Lauren time to do more damage to them, but potentially be the bigger threat to their capital. I'd prefer that. Battle in Honoria. This is Tomb Kings, a sizable force. They looks like they split their main force into two groups. This is one of them, or maybe three groups. And they have caught some more Altdorf troops in the open. So we've got some great swords, we've got some demigriffs. This force is very much outmatched by this force. So this is really good for Tomb Kings. This is the kind of destroy in detail, destroy in piecemeal tactic that works really well. Those Tomb Scorpions just absolutely destroy demigriffs. I watch other people's stuff and I'm like, oh god, I don't really have the ability to counter a lot of these things. But as long as it's not fighting me, we'll try and come up with stuff when it's our turn. In Wraither, we get attacked by Norska, a very small force. I guess they were looking for low province defense. I may have had low province defense in this at one point, but I don't right now. So they know I've got province defense in Wraither, and they know what it is. Mostly these crossbows will be enough to deal with this. This is a very low commitment force from Norska, but it's good to kill off some more of their Reavers and things. Any attrition we can do to them, because they've got quite a weak economy compared to us, and their army size is not very much. We've seen the graphs. So anything we can kill off is good. Then we have a battle in Bitra. This is me attacking with my new Yuanbo, the Immortal Dragon. He is up against some province defense, so his script is Summon Earth Power, Personal Mist Form, Protection from Lightning, Flying Shield, just Protection from Lightning because I didn't know if they'd have any mages there, and then Fire Shield. And I've actually didn't set him on attack rear, so he's going to default to his normal behaviour, which is to breathe fire all over everything. But that's going to do the trick. So he's just having a jolly time breathing fire on them. This is just province defense. It's just nice to see one of the Immortal Dragons in action. If anyone kills the Immortal Dragon, it's going to be war for good with them. We can't have that. White Spring Grove. This is another one of my raiders, another Dragon Blood. Very similar script to the others. Just province defense. We'll skip this, we've seen enough of those. And then we have battle in Moliton. This is us, another Dragon Blood. This is my Thunder Dragon Blood. And he is up against a fairly substantial force because we're attacking a fort, so it's got a decent amount of province defense, and it's the national province defense. He shouldn't have a problem against this. Let's watch. He's got Mist Form, which is very effective against these mundane weapons. Drops in at the back, starts shocking. The Fire Shield is going to do most of the killing for him. Are we taking some hits? Not really. So that's that fort. Province defense knocked over. It's always good to knock a fort out of production for a turn as well. Then we have a battle in Bay Pond. This is the big battle of the turn. Now, I had 3 different locations that I predicted these guys could turn up in. They've kept them all in one place. They haven't really split their stack. We can see that they've got their troops set up in their major set up in a communion, a Sabbath. I think casting Sabbath Slave. They've got some air gems. They're going to cast Storm and Storm Power, we think. And of course, they've got their Chosen here, and they've got their Prophet here, so they'll all be blessed. Their Bless is Fear and Awe. It's very, very effective at making things run away. We have a not insubstantial force because we have a lot of Iron Body Monks. It's mainly Iron Body Monks, this force. We've got some fireworks, we've got a few crossbows, but not very many, and then we've got some other stuff. We've also got this pretty nasty force of Temple Guardians, but I think I've put the Temple Guardians in a spot where they're not going to get blessed, which is kind of stupid of me, because they do need that blessing. So yeah, that was an unforced error. We've got some Giant Strength Warriors going off, some Thunder Ward going off in case they're casting Lightning Bolts. Do you have Giant Strength Warriors cast on you? I think that's from your blessing. So there goes Storm. We've got a bunch of bark skins and things being cast out here. No body ethereals on this stack. So what are they casting? They've fatigued themselves out immediately. Be great to kill some, but I don't think it's on the cards. So in comes another volley from the Fire Rain rocket. Not much damage from that. We do have some Mist Forms being cast, I think. Did I see some Mist Form, guys? Is it Body Ethereal? It's Body Ethereal. We've got some Mist Form being cast back there. But yeah, our problem here is just these Chosen. I mean, they're very expensive. They're 60 gold each. These Chosen are a match for the stuff that we have here. Because we had to split our army up, we couldn't get this big decisive battle. But what we're looking to do here is to deal some attritive damage. Just kill some of them. So in go the Sacred Guardian Beasts. It's a shame. Not blessed, and I didn't use them in a sensible way. I was hoping that they would run past, because they're very high morale. I was hoping they'd run past and hit these mages, but it's just not happened. Yeah, and they're just getting chopped up. They don't have the stats to deal with the Chosen here. I mean, the Chosen are taking some hits, but... So the Iron Body Monks are definitely going to kill these front runners here. of the enemies. These bears are going to get destroyed. But you can see, even with their very high morale, the Iron Body monks will suffer from the fear. Their morale will go down, and they'll suffer from that ore. They will have some of their shots blocked. So we're killing the bear struck. We're killing the reavers. That's not really a problem, but we've not managed to get anyone back into this mage core. That's really what I wanted to do. Because they have storm up, my flyer has failed to get to the back line. He's at the front, Lube. He can be useful there, but he'd be much better attacking them at the back, obviously. Got some more projectiles coming in. You can see the Iron Body monks really just struggling to kill the Chosen. They are doing some damage. The Chosen are getting kind of beaten up. The Reavers are broken. They got fairly easily destroyed. And up on the corner, we'll be able to kill some of these guys with Iron Body monks. But yeah, this is the problem. See, they're already fleeing. Morale 15, but the fear, it's just very, very powerful, bless. Lube's gone to the front. Let's see what he's managed to do. Killed a bear struck. Blinded a Chosen. Killed a Chosen. So, you know, having the Dragon Blood there is really useful, even if they can't fly. He has taken a bit of damage. But yeah, we've seen some Chosen get killed. A lot of our monks got killed. And the rest of our troops just didn't stand a chance here in melee. Ooh, our Dragon Blood's in danger. Okay, he's getting out of there, that's good. He can outrun them. And our remaining troops there are going to get killed. And we're routed, so we're going to get a lot of our troops just retreating off the battlefield and not dying here. But this is a loss for us. We're going to have to look at the tail of the tape at the end to see how bad it was. But not very many things are going to die in retreat because this was quite deep in my territory. So let's have a look. Bay Pond. Let's look at what we lose first. We lose all our province defense, that's okay. That's just gold. We lose Jade Commander, that's okay. None of our other commanders lost, that's good. 22 Iron Body monks. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of kills. We didn't lose that many of them. There were 92 there. 4 crossbowmen kills. There are only 18 of them. 4 kills for the Fire Rain Wagoneer. They're probably friendly fire, to be honest. The Man-Eater got a kill and died. Skylands and Soldiers didn't do very well. Temple Guardian Beast got a couple of kills. I think they were Reavers and died. I just misplaced them, to be honest. Terracotta Horsemen didn't do anything. And the Terracotta Pikemen and Swordsmen and Tortoise Warriors were just kind of there, slowing the enemy down. They didn't really stand a chance against that quality of troop. So they all got killed. So our losses, the 22 Iron Body monks is not great, but it's, you know, a turn and a half of our recruitment of them. It's not the worst. We didn't really lose anything that important. Losing the province sucks. What did Norska lose? They lost a Crystal Sorceress. That's actually kind of a big deal, losing that. I think that was to a communion. 2 of their chieftains, always good to kill those. They've actually got a little bit of a lack of military leaders here. They do have a Wolfstruck chieftain. They've got 2 Jarls. So they do still have their leadership there. 5 Bearstruck gone, always good to get rid of them. They're all gone. Out of the 82 Chosen, we killed 20, so they're down to 62 Chosen. That's actually a fairly significant loss, obviously. That's like a quarter of their Chosen taken out in that battle. And if they keep having fights like that, they'll be in a kind of a Pyrrhic victory kind of campaign against us, because they just don't have the economy we do. 23 Norscan Reavers, that was really good. They didn't achieve anything. A bunch of them got killed. Keep them out of the fight, that's good. Overall, it's a loss, but it's not a disaster. Bzooks, the province, we get Wood Elves attacking, a very minimal commitment. They knew that they were fighting some low PD, so they've done that. Battling Bone-Nosed Tribe, this is just us poking Bone-Nosed Tribe to see what the defences of their capital are, and it's just some province defence. They're not patrolling with anything, that's interesting to know. Might provoke them for patrolling, not sure. Battling Felden Forest. So they attack back with not very many troops. We've not done anything to defend Felden Forest because I actually thought they were going to move their god through there potentially, so I just left the province defense there. This was a smart move by Bone Nose. This is the kind of low commitment stuff that works out quite well for picking off provinces that have been taken, get the income back. Spies of Ascension, we see quite a substantial army of Athalorant. This is in a forest. Oh, I see, they're fighting against a big host of woodland spirits. Okay, well, we're not that interested in that. That'll be an easy win for them. Yes, it was. Fortress of Middenheim, we have a battle. So this is Vampiria finally taking over Middenheim. I believe Middenheim staled their turn. They must have set this up and then they didn't really care. We've got a bunch of Greek Barkskin stuff being cast on nothing. So that's not great. They've summoned loads of animals. They've got a bunch of gate guards. And I think they've got some priests that should be casting Banishment, you would hope. That would be their best hope, is to just cast Banishment here on these. Now look at this. This is kind of interesting. These wall archers, they're just ordinary archers. But they don't have good protection, the Harvesters. So as long as they're held in place, the Banishment and the wall archers is actually going to chop them up quite nicely. You can see they're just doing damage constantly. And there's the Banishment. So I'm going to guess a few of these Harvesters die. But they've got a massive reserve force, including a bunch of archers. It's smart to bring archers to a fort battle, in my opinion. It's going to help them get through this gate. Let's zoom through this. So definitely some Harvesters dying, but they are pushing through the gate. If only they just had... So they've got a Holy 3, Emir Valga, or is he a Holy 4? Let me check. He's a Holy 3. If they had more priests here, I think that they could block this and they could win. Just banish the hell out of the gate. Anyway, the giant rats in there. The animals have retreated. In go the Harvesters, and this will be the end of them. There's no way they can survive out in the open now. There we go. Boris Todbringer goes... Oh, he goes down swinging. What a legend. Hits a Harvester for 18. Hits a Harvester and kills it. Hits a Harvester with a Rune Fang and kills it. Look at that. That's so cool. He's making his last stand there and chopping up some Harvesters. He would have done better if he was in the gate, honestly. He killed another one! This goes to show the power of some of these unique heroes. He's not even one of... He killed another one! He's not even one of the more powerful ones, but he's done fantastically well, hasn't he? Let's zoom through this. He doesn't get any more. He is dead. Let's have a look at the ledger. 10 Harvesters killed. Their priest got plenty of kills. Their archers got 46 kills. This was their wall archers, did great, you know. And then Boris Todbringer killed 3 Harvesters on his own. So fantastic. But other than that, they just had a load of rubbish. Yeah, it goes to show. Biddenheim had a couple of situations there where they could have done a lot better against Vampiria if things had been slightly different. If those Greek Barkskins had been a little bit far forward, that would have helped the animals and things. If they'd had a few more troops, or they'd cast Greek Barkskin on the gate guards, that would have helped them. If they'd had more priests, and if they hadn't had that original battle in darkness, that was a big one. Battle at the Fortress of Golomrod. This is a extremely, extremely scary army by Nehekara. They have made loads of Sepulchral Stalkers, which are very scary ranged units. You need high magic resistance to get through that. And they've got loads of Sacreds. Loads of Casters. And a fair few of their own archers. And Altdorf has nothing, basically, so I'm expecting basically no casualties here. Let's watch the Sepulchral Stalkers do their business. So who are they shooting? They're shooting the gate guards. You see those little puffs of, like, those black rings of smoke? That's them petrifying people. Is that true? Yes. The black puffs of smoke are definitely them. I don't know what the circles are. Maybe the circle is when there's an additional effect happening? Yeah, I think that's true. We've got Cetra the Imperishable, King of Kings, is actually present here as well. That's one of my favourite sprites I've drawn. I really like the horses. Chariot of the God. He is incredibly strong. Look at those stats. Shocking. And he's carrying the Blade of Petra. So it's nice that he's leading the charge. I always love to see thematic stuff like that. And off he goes. And I believe he's... yeah, he's a Dominion Immortal, so this is probably in his Dominion. He's not worried about that. Very one-sided win. 2 Tomb Guards dead. Easy taking of the fortress. Not looking good for Altdorf. So we get some events. Muspel, not interested. Some province income and resources in Anglovania. Witherland, province defense eaten by rats. Norscan longships plundering us in Wise Spring Grave. Of course, the only way that they take and I take back from them is going to have Norscan longships in it. Driven away in Chilad, so we got rid of Norscan longships there. That's good. Those give them gold every turn, so they're quite important to get rid of. That's why they really like coastal provinces. Plague of Gnawing Rats in Maine. A bad event in Muspel taking. There's lots of anti-Dominion events happening, aren't there? Religious misconception spreading in Dunes of Death. There's a false prophet, I believe, in Dunes of Death. And yeah, that's it. So what are we doing this turn? We're switching our research. First thing I want to discuss. We're going for evocation up to level 3 before we move back to enchantment level 6. I want my off-script mages to be casting some evocation. Sometimes it's a big deal. I'm using mages in combat now, and I just want those evo spells available to them. Sometimes they're just desperation, but you can see our plan worked out quite well with us taking these 3 provinces in a chain, which actually cut off all of these provinces, so they didn't get the income from them, which is nice. We want to attack their economy as much as we can. This turn I'm trying something quite bold, which is I'm going to besiege all of their forts. So I'm attacking up here from Dunes of Death. I've got a substantial force there. It's going for Terrace Peaks. I don't think that they can mass enough stuff to stop this force. I have, like, various... don't have that many people doing Blessing there. Make sure that you're doing Blessing. Interesting. Yeah, I'm a bit short of priests there. Is that because I've left one behind? Yes, I left one behind because I was going to bless some troops that are there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep them with the troops there because I might end up in a fight in this particular area. So let's make sure we got enough priests. We're casting a bit of giant strength warriors with our gems. We've got some more gems being carried with us. I'm going to move one of those actually to, so he doesn't use it up. Just going to give him 2 gems. So we're going to take over Terrace Peaks and seize that province and have enough siege strength there that we can start knocking it over and worrying them on their throne. I think that's a good idea. And we are going to move our Dragonbloods. The stronger one is going to attack Norska. The slightly weaker one is going to attack Pantocrator's Legacy. And the idea is that they won't be expecting that. They won't really patrol with their stuff in those forts. And by shutting down all 3 forts, they will be no recruitment, no income for that turn. They'll have a bit of income from some other things, but without being able to trace it to the forts, most of their provinces will not be giving them any income at all. We're also going to hit as many provinces as we can on the basis that I think they're not leaving much province defense behind. So we're going to attack Walden with a very small force. This is kind of a sacrifice force with commander there. We're going to attack Jira with a couple of mages, just with a bunch of troops. This is not something I would normally do. I just don't have the commanders there. So these mages are just going to have to manage. You can cast Phoenix Power and then hopefully you'll get some spells from Evo. I don't think that they'll be moving to Jira, but this force can move to... I'll show you all the provinces he can move to. He could go Walden, Muspel, Cathay, Miritrand, Rather, Cunneral, Jira, Keelad, Spring Grove. He could do any of those because they've got sailing, and he's next to a lake. I don't know where they're going. I'm guessing that they might go for Rather because they've been doing this kind of... They've already probed it, and they've been doing this kind of sweep round, and I don't have an army in Rather. They could go for Cunneral, but I don't mind that. They could just hit for Cathay. That would be a vindictive thing to do, and it would be annoying, but it wouldn't result in that much of a problem. We'd be besieged, but I've got income traced to other places. They could split their force up. They've got 2 Jarls. They could hit in multiple places. I'm going to bet that something's going to Rather, and so I'm assembling a big force in Rather. Rather is another province where if we lose the battle because of fear, we've got lots of surrounding friendly provinces that our guys can flee to. So not so much of a disaster. Miritrand, I'm basically moving everyone out of, I think. Yeah, there's no one there, and that's got low province defense, or 17. Rather's got 40 province defense. I'm recruiting some crossbows there as well. It's going to have a lot of crossbowmen and ranged weapons, and that's kind of my plan for anything that goes to Rather. But we are attacking Jira. We are attacking Nardego using Yuan Bow. So we're flying over there and hitting that. So we're going to hit Jira, Nardego, Walden, Pantocrator's Legacy, Norska, Terrace Peaks, and we're hitting Bay Pond because I believe they'll leave that province. So I'm hitting it with just a force of cavalry. And again, this is just to knock over whatever province defense they leave behind. The idea here is to just really pressure Norska, take as many provinces back as quickly as possible, and just economically harm them, and then deal attrition to their army. That's the plan. I'm not mounting any kind of defensive Cathay. If they go into Cathay, fair enough. I've got mages, I've got troops in there, I've got mages and things, the walls will hold up for a bit. It's not a disaster. They're not going to storm me straight away, and I can move another force in to kind of chase them off if I need to. I am moving a little bit of some of my forces back, but not very much, and I'm just continuing to recruit. Every turn we're doing recruitment of more mages, crossbows, iron body monks, which are useful against kind of all of the stuff we're facing. I am worried about this. Once they've taken the beastmen, and the beastmen I think have just been staling turns and not doing anything, so they're going to get flattened. I guess they're either going to move. They might move on Obus in this turn with this force. It is in a position where it could move in. This guy could be moving into Beastmen. I don't know. I think that they're going to take Beastmen and then immediately go into war with me. So I just hope I can do a bit of damage to Norska before that happens, and then we're just going to have to react to that. I can't really. I could try to predict they're moving to Obushin and ambush them with this force, but I need it here to fight Norska, so I can't really do that. Down in the south, the plan has shifted a bit because Norska's attack being now quite successful against me, and because I think Black Crag will also attack me. I'm really keeping a low commitment force in Bonose's territory. I want to just keep taking these provinces off them and let Athel Lauren end up with fighting over the capital. So I'm going to, except I lose Moliton, well, I left a scout sieging it in case they don't break siege. We're going to attack these two provinces. The reason is I think Imaine's going to remain one of my provinces. I'm just going to throw some basic province defense on that in case he pokes it. And these have both got lots of sites in them, you can see. I can tell where he's got lots of sites because of the Eyes of God, and that's something I should use. I should always hit him where he has lots of sites. I get the gem income, even if it's only for a little while, and it takes him away from him. So we're going to hit Cathedral of Rock and Caverns of Neck with our two Flying Thugs. At some point, we've already lost one Dragonblood, and at some point we will lose some more. We've been doing some risky stuff with them, but, we have to make use of them. It's like having an air force, basically, when your opponent doesn't have anything like that. I assume Fowenshire will be retaken. They're not very likely to take Windsor. Fowenshire is actually really important because it connects to so many other things. So it's tempting to leave something there and to try and ambush them, but I guess I can always just fly back there when I don't think they're going to take it. We can see Athel Lauren's taking stuff and sieging this province. We could go for the capital, but I believe his boar can reach the capital. He can move there. He can also reach Felden Forest, and I don't want to run into that boar with any conventional forces, or in fact one of my raiders. I'd rather not have to deal with it, frankly. So what we're going to do is, for this turn at least, we're going to stay in Dragon Point. We're just going to hang out there, and we're going to knock a bit of Dominion off them. And then we'll see what we're doing with this force. We may want to move them out. I don't know. But for now, we're just going to sit there. And it's not a bad province as well. It's got a bunch of sites that we're enjoying. We got a lot more gem income than we had before, just from this war. So that's everything that's going on. Let's have a quick look at the score graphs. So province-wise, we're doing okay. Obviously losing stuff to Norska is kind of irritating, but we're taking provinces back from them. We can see Bone Nose has plummeted down. Norska's kind of remaining roughly where it was, but it's one of the minor powers in the game. Income-wise, we've knocked Norska down a bit, but their income's still actually okay. I'd rather their income was way down. Our income's doing okay because of our extensive raiding, pulling in lots of stuff. You can see Athel Lauren's income is going wild. They're really getting ahead on that. Gem income. We lost a lot of gem income this turn. That was from losing some sites that we'd taken off Bone Nose that had tons of gems in them, and I think we lost some sites to Norska, obviously, that had some gems in them. So we've been losing gem income, but we're going to keep taking provinces, and we're about to take some more that give us gem income. You can see Bone Nose Tribe used to have crazy gem income. Obviously, it's gone down. They've recovered some of it. That's really important at this point in the game, getting that gem income secured. So it's not too surprising. Research-wise, Bone Nose Tribe kind of flattening out a bit. We're kind of flattening out a bit. Itza and Zarnagrund continuing. Itza particularly is scaling their research like crazy. So Itza to me is the game leader at the moment. Dominion. Is Bone Nose in any kind of trouble Dominion-wise? Not even vaguely. See? Biggest Dominion in the game. Probably means they've got lots of temples, I guess. They do have their god, of course, producing temple checks. They've got their prophet. Yeah, I think that means they must have quite a few temples and a high Dominion score. Our Dominion's doing okay. Gold Truth is in trouble, the Dominion again. Army size, We've taken quite a big hit recently, obviously, but an interesting thing to note is Norska's army size. Look at this. So this is them building up to war. This is them going to war and losing a bit. And then this turn, the attrition kicks in. Quite a lot of stuff lost. Some of it lost to retreats and things like that. This is not the kind of attrition that they can keep up, particularly if they want to manage to besiege us, successfully take forts off us. They can't live with this kind of attrition. So less worrying. Bono's tribe on the recovery from the serious losses they've had. They've got nearly as many troops as we do now. Although I think of a lower quality, they do still have some really good stuff and lots of mages. So an interesting position we're in. If we get attacked by Vampiria, that's a massive disaster. I'm expecting to get attacked by Black Crag, and it'll be really tough fighting Black Crag, Norska, and Bone Nose, but it'd be really fun as well, and hopefully good for you guys to watch. That's everything for this turn. Let's see what the next one brings. Are we going to have some cool fights? Are we going to be successful in our strategy against Norska? Are we going to catch them in Wraither? We'll see. It's turn number 30. I'm in a little bit of tight for time on this turn, so I'll try and go quite quickly. Got some research and evocation up to level 2. Kislev gets the Throne of Vitality. We have a magic phase battle in Chilad. Looks like castings of Arouse Hunger. Bunch of ghouls. And they've cast this in an attempt to catch Par, the Dragon Blood Lord, who is raiding them on my behalf. Let's put it on super speed. I don't see that ghouls are going to be able to do anything with the Poison Claw, because they do paralyzing poison. If they were doing regular poison, possibly they'd be able to get something done, but he also has Fire Shield. Oh, and they rout straight away from him killing their leader, so very straightforward. Bretonnia has New Prophet. Battle in Bono's tribe. This is just a ping of the capital from Athel Lauren. Battle in Nardago. This is our dragon, Yuan Bo. He's just fighting some province defense, so we know how that's going to turn out. Very straightforward. Battle in Witherland. This is quite a clever move by Bone Nose. They've got a shaman leading just a bunch of Goblin Wolf Riders, very cheap, low commitment, but he's capable of casting Greek Bark Skin, which toughens them up. And more importantly, I just don't have very good province defense here. It's militia and archers and a little bit of light infantry. It's very low quality. So I don't see that these guys are going to have any issues, really, defeating the province defense. If it had been more light infantry, they might have lost. But the militia just can't cut it. So they take that. That was an attempt to take the connection to the caverns. And it's also a place he can attack me from. So it's not bad. Battle in Dead Forest. Big force of ogres. Not a very complicated one. Some mages. And they're just hitting some province defense from Bone Nose. I don't really know. I haven't seen any actual battles from the ogre-Bone Nose conflict. But I know that they've not... It's not gone great for the ogres, seemingly. Certainly don't seem to have, even with Bono's being quite distracted by what we're doing, doesn't seem to have been very effective. So this is our big force of monks and crossbows. It's not really big enough to take on the main army of Norska, but it's certainly enough to take out the guards of this fort. So we've got some lightning bolts and weapons of sharpness coming out. And the monks will make short work of these defenders. Did we lose anyone? 3 Iron Body Monks, probably to friendly fire, to be quite honest, because we got 4 kills with the crossbowmen. So that was a bit foolish. We took their fort there. Our plan was to attack them in all of their forts on this turn to lock them down, potentially. We'll see if that worked. Bitra, we are attacked by a significant force. It's not their main force, but it's very strong. So we've got a bunch more mages, casting various things. We've got blessings, we've got body ethereal coming out, we've got a load of Norscan chosen, and then we've got a backup force of bearstruck, very large numbers of bearstruck. A strong force for sure, so they easily take Bitra. We attack in Jira with a couple of mages and some basic troops. They've just got some province defense here, so that is an easy win in Jira. In the Caves of Madness, Bone Nose tribe attack. These are my province defense. Bono's tribe is attacking with a bunch of pale ones, led by Forest Goblin with Ring of Water Breathing. He's going to cast Creep Bark Skin, which is not very effective, I would say, on these guys. I mean, it helps them because they've got terrible protection, but they're still kind of terrible underwater, pale ones. They're not wet ones, so they just don't have great underwater stats. Is it enough to beat my forces, given that I've got Triton Troopers here? I would say no, but let's watch. Full speed ahead. So the Tritons are just better at fighting underwater, and they're overcoming the pale ones. It's pretty close. It is pretty close. And the Shaman retreats, probably retreating safely. But it does stop them from... They don't have those underground provinces connected, so they don't get the income from those. And they did lose the forces they could send underwater to try and stop us. Then we've got a battle in Dunes of Death. So this is Norska's main force. I wasn't expecting them to move to the Dunes of Death, and so I had tried to move some forces out of Dunes of Death to knock over their... the province behind their main force. So this is a mistake on my part, and I'm going to lose some Iron Monks. I'm going to lose an Earth Elementalist, I guess, and obviously some Dynast Cavalry and stuff. So that's a bit unfortunate. They're casting up some blood spells. Just kind of imps and stuff like that. We're not going to inflict any casualties in this, it's just not a big enough force. We're costing them a few blood slaves at least, I guess. The Iron Body Monks go in, but they're not blessed, and they're very heavily outnumbered and outclassed. I mean, these are chosen with multiple experience stars and whatnot as well. So hopefully some of these guys retreated successfully. It looks like the Earth Mage has tired himself out, so he's not going to be retreating successfully. Yeah, the imps are going to get him. There he goes. So, a bit unfortunate. Norska, this is our thug going after their capital. I was hoping that they would not expect that and they wouldn't be patrolling their capital. I was wrong. They are patrolling their capital with some stuff that could easily take out my thug. So we've got some Chosen and some Bearstruck over here. We've got a lot of just stuff. He could beat this stuff. But more importantly, we've got a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, a very expensive, very powerful unit. He has 2 Thunderous Axes, both of which just can absolutely obliterate a Dragon Blood, and he's being fluffed up by a Norscan Shaman, so pretty smart move. So this one I will definitely lose. What equipment did we have? Blacksteel Barding, it's a shame to lose that. And he was a Water Breathing, Flask, Mace of Eruption guy. I was going to send him in to take some underwater provinces, I think. So some good equipment here, you know, just miscalculated. I think it was quite a risk doing what I was doing here, which was trying to, you know, hit multiple of their provinces, particularly hitting Norska. I just didn't expect them to expect it in patrol, so kudos to them for working out that I was going to do that. So we'll kill some of these, we'll probably kill some Bearstruck, and then let's slow it down. In he comes, the big boy, and chop, instantly kills him. Wow, let's have a look. Hit him in the head for 15 points, hit him in the leg for 18 points. Both the axes just straight in and killed him without being able to do anything. So, unfortunate. The equipment will probably get picked up by Norska. And obviously it's a big loss losing a Dragon Blood. So not a smart move. It also means we don't lock down all of their forts. We've got 1 out of 3 so far. But we'll see about the other ones. Caverns of Neck. This is one of our Dragon Blood thugs. Where's he gone? Oh, he's up there. He's disguised in the dark. So one of our Dragon Blood thugs attacking some province defense. It's just some Bakemono stuff. So that's an easy win. Cathedral of Rock, another cave province. This one also has very little in the way of province defense. And yeah, another one of our thugs. This is our Thunder Whip thug. So we take that out as well. Battle in Emain. So Bone Nose making an attack on Emain, where I've got a little bit of province defense. Not very much. But he is making a very low commitment attack here with a Goblin Boss and just a handful of Savage Orcs. Some leftovers, basically. I think we might win this just because the slings are going to do some damage before they arrive. Oh, it's very close, but yeah, we got it. So we win in Emain, but then unfortunately there's an event in Emain that knocks it over. You can see it's got the Indie flag there. So Dragon Point, we are attacked by Bone Nose. We've got some Goblin Wolf Riders, and we've got some Just a very low commitment of Savage Boys, but we've still got an army in there, so that's an easy win there. These are all just very, very low commitment attacks from them. It's very cheap for them to do that. Pantocrator's Legacy we now attack. So this is a fort. This is the second fort out of the 3 we're looking to take. We've sent a thug. They've just got some province defense, so this one is going to be an easy win. Just watch quickly, just in case there's anything wrong with the scripting. Goes into the back. It does take a hit to the Longma. 27 protection, but these are axes. So we took 2 out of the 3 forts. We just screwed up on the capital. And then Zooks. We see Athel Lauren. They have some Wild Riders. Oh, that's the Glade Captain. We have some Wild Riders present. Wild Riders are very, very strong. So while this is a not tiny force of orcs, and they are, big uns, so good quality, with experienced stars no less, probably a veteran of the Ogre Wars, I guess. I think the Wild Riders are just going to destroy them, because Wild Riders are really tough. We can also see here the Wood Elf's Bless. Its defense skill, Undying Strength, and Enchanted Blood are really good all-round useful Bless. Makes them much tougher, makes them hit very hard. So they do lose their mount, so he's going to have to rebuy them, but he takes out those orcs. Moliton. Oh, that's him. I left a scout behind sieging a fort, and he just sent out one guy to take it over, the Savage Outpost. That's a smart move, really, I guess. Fowenshire. We've got a bunch of casters. Yeah, quite a high commitment of casters here, looking after these Savage Orcs. I guess the plan here was to have all of these mages who are capable of casting poison blood on a thug if a thug landed there. So they were trying to kill one of my dragon bloods. But as it is, it's just a bunch of wild boys. So yeah, that was clearly their plan there. They're just going off script. We just don't have anything there to fight in Fowenshire. Unexpected event in the main. You have not stopped the Warlock in time. No, I didn't. I wasn't aware there was a Warlock. Must have not been paying attention to that. Muspel, some demon worship, Nardego, a monster boar. God, it's just non-stop, isn't it? I have to just not worry about some of these things. Back to it. Norscan longships plundering us. This is everywhere we've taken over that's coastal, or they've taken over and we've taken it back. There's going to be longships causing plunder. So they steal money for Norscan blood slaves and they give them they cause unrest. So we've got that happening all over the place. In Lama, we lose some defense to rats. This is really turning into Hell World. There's just problems all over the place. Norscan longships plundering Pantocrator's Legacy, which of course we had under siege. Dragon Point, we've eradicated some rats. That's always nice to see. It's not really keeping pace with them, but Nardego, we get unrest and lose some gold. Oof. That's the same place as the monster boar is causing problems. Bright Gate, we're going to be attacked by barbarians, so we'll put the province defense up there to deal with those. Yellow Mountain, some brigands get killed by Vampiria, or the other way around. No, they attack Vampiria and won. And then in main, so this really sucks. We got attacked by this this warlock with all of these devils, so quite a nasty stack. We've got that province defense that just beat the orcs, but are not going to do anything there. The reason that sucks is it's cut off the 2 provinces we just took from our the rest of our territory, so we don't get the gems and the income from those at all. So that kind of sucks. We've started to destroy the fort territories. Yeah, okay, fine. So, this turn, what we are doing is we're doing some more attacking of Norska. We're taking over Sleepy Mountains. I think that they could converge their forces looking for a fight at Terrace Peaks. I don't know. I don't think that all of their forces can from Norska, Bitra, Dunes of Death, etc. I don't think they can reach Grey Barrier. So I'm moving my main army that's in the north to Grey Barrier. And I'm going to hit the province next to it in case there's a disaster and lots of them need to rout. We'll save some of them. So we're hitting that with par. I hope it won't have stuff capable of killing another one of my thugs. That would suck, but it's possible. You know, Noska certainly has stuff that's easily capable of killing them. It's easier for them than it was for Bone Nose to kill my thugs. But I kind of have to keep the pressure on them because the war's not going too great for me so far. And I want to keep the economic pressure on them, of course. So we'll be giving up Pantocrator's legacy. We can't leave anything behind. We don't have anything to leave behind to siege it. Oh well. I don't think I can, hold that anyway. If I had to guess where they're going to go, they're going to take Terrace Peaks back, maybe with the smaller force from Bitra, and then the ones from Dunes of Death are going to attack somewhere. A Keist, possibly? I'm not sure. They could all move back to Terrace Peaks. I don't know. They could try and kind of chase us around. They have better maneuverability for their forces because every time they're next to a water province, they can just sail anywhere. And obviously, they're sticking up longships everywhere. This is really favourable to them, having all of these small lakes. It's really good for Norska. So attack. Not that many. We've lost one of our thugs, obviously. We'll try and build more. And then down here, we're moving into Bay Pond, which I very much doubt they would move their forces into because we've got a significant army going in there. We're casting flaming arrows and so on there as much as we can. Because it's within our dominion, we can see they've put some province defense in there, so that's a good opportunity for us to just kill some province defense. That's always worth doing. The Black Crag are still not attacked the Beastlands. They could end up attacking us, I'm not sure. We're forging some more items to go on our thugs and things, but it's not necessarily going to be... I mean, they're going to be good for light raiding our Dragonbloods. I'd rather kind of transition away from that and use them as mages, but I can't get any that have 3 in a path. It's been quite frustrating. But we are recruiting another one. We're recruiting monks and crossbowmen as before. So our thugs down in the south, we're sending one over to Witherland and we're sending one over to Fowenshire. I think the troops in Fowenshire will move. I would be very surprised if they did not move. But it's possible that they won't because that has happened before. And if that happens, we could be in trouble there with old Haoshian because he'll end up potentially getting hit with those poison bloods and things. But I think we'll try it. It's important for us to keep them kind of off balance. I could go for Moliton on the basis that I don't think that they would move patrol there, but it's also possible that the ogres would move into Moliton. I'm not really communicating with the ogres. I think the ogres will move back and try and deal with all these bone nose. They're more in their territory, but we'll see. Is there anywhere else that Haoshian could go instead? I'd like to go somewhere where it's going to be connected to the rest of our provinces. I could play it safe and go for Feladan Forest instead. I'd really like to connect these, but the only way to do it is to attack Moliton. And it doesn't seem like a great plan. Don't have a temple there. Do they have a lab in Moliton, do we think? If so, they might move their main forces onto there. I think because the potential upside is... Well, they could also take Kopos and then we wouldn't have any of these connected. Yeah, it's very tricky to say. I think any of these could end up with this army in it. How likely are they to just stay still? Not very. Fowenshire is not a super valuable province for them. Knocking Moliton back down would be kind of like an interesting thing to do. I think what I'm going to do is go for Moliton, and if I've second-guessed myself here and caused myself some problems, then so be it. That will just have to be the way it is. But we're going to attack Witherland, which I don't think this force is going to go to. They're going to have to pull back a little bit to be defensive, one would think. So we're going to hit Moliton, hope that Kopos doesn't get hit, and try and connect up these provinces, because it is worth quite a lot of gems to us, connecting up those provinces. And would be worth doing. But we shall see. And then the force that we've got next to Bono's tribe, I don't want to attack their cap because they could move this force back onto their cap and have quite a lot come out of their cap and cause trouble. So we're not going to hit it this turn. This force is not, if I remember correctly, terribly strong. It's pretty good. We could go for their cap. I don't really want to have their cap under siege. I know that this turn their boar, which in some good news for us, got killed against Athel Lauren, so they will want to call him back as soon as possible. Hitting their capital and sieging it would be good for us. They do still have all of these provinces connected to Skaven Blight, so even if we did, I don't know, it's tempting just for the purposes of content to attack Bono's tribe. And I said I was going to do this one quickly, but I'm kind of not, am I? I think I'm going to play it safe here and go for Felden Forest. The reason is I think they think I will go for the cap, so I'm instead going to guess that I'm going to go for Felden Forest. I do want to get these sites, so knocking those sites into our control for a turn at least would be good to get all the income from them. So we're going to do that. Around here I've got some province defense, but I just don't have very many troops available. I'm getting a little bit more money because we're a bit short with distilled gold. We've had some kind of bad luck with our income this turn. But yeah, the economic war with Norska continues, and we'll hope for just not having a disaster basically up there. Can we forge anything useful for our Dragon Bloods? Useful stuff to keep them going. Braces of Protection are kind of an interesting one to have, so we'll just forge some. Why not? I can't say I'm putting in the greatest thought and effort into these things. Oh, we might want to have lightning protection because they do have various air mages and they do have those dragon ogres. They hit very hard, but they also do shock attacks when they hit. So having a bunch of lightning protection might be quite good. The Ring of Tamed Lightning is useful in that sense. So let's forge some Rings of Tamed Lightning. I'm sure they're going to be useful at some point anyway. So maybe throw up one of those. Throw up one of those over here. With the Ring of Tamed Lightning. Well, we don't have to do it now. We can wait and see. Okay. I think that's everything for this turn. Let's see how it goes. It is turn number 31. Karazakarak offers a non-aggression pact. We're pretty busy at the moment, so I think we just accept that. Research and evocation completed. Cast Distill Gold, so we've got evocation to level 3. Battle in Felden Forest. This is our main force in the south. Fighting just some province defense. Battle in Dunes of Death. Taking back a province from Norska. Just some province defense. Battle in Bone Nose Tribe. We've got elves. Lots of archers, lots of wild riders against some province defense. Let's quickly watch this one sped up so we can just watch the carnage. Yeah, wild riders are super powerful. And a reminder of their bless. They've got morale, defense, skill, undying strength, and enchanted blood. Pretty effective on the wild riders. Battle in Witherland. This is us taking back the wasteland that's above the cavern entrance. And there's some routed pale ones here. But other than that, just some province defense. Battle in Fastia. One of the Norscan northern provinces. Barbarians are actually kind of dangerous, and this is not one of our strongest. Oh, he's pretty good actually. He's got Valor. So we should be okay. The Norscan chieftain could cause some damage. The barbarians could hit us, but we'll see. Let's speed ahead. So he is taking some hits. Nothing that bad on the Longbow. It takes a wound. It's got a limp. But they do have rejuvenation. Grey Barrier, our main force in the north, runs into just some province defense. Bay Pond. So this is a big fight. We have got lots of crossbowmen, some fireworks, a few fire rain wagons. We've got a couple of Temple Guardian beasts. We've got a handful of other infantry, and then a bunch of monks. Not a huge number of monks, but a fair number of monks. We've got a few mages casting various different things. We've got some flankers. Norska has got a bunch of mages here, loads of Volvers. They've got blood slaves and things. They've got a whole load of Bearstruck. They've moved some more forces into this main force of theirs, and they've got tons and tons of Chosen, of course, with experience stars. So a very nasty stack. I would bet on Norska in this one, because if we just watch what they cast. So we can see some Summon Storm powers, Divine Blessing, Body Ethereals going up, Fire Resistant Warriors being cast, some Sabbaths going up. Unfortunately our fire, we do hit with a couple of fire rockets on these Volvers, but don't manage to kill them. It's a shame. A bit more of that would have been good. But fire-resistant warriors is going to be very good. Storm is going to destroy a lot of our projectiles, and also arrow ward on a bunch of them. So arrow ward and storm being cast, our projectile-heavy forces not going to have much luck at all. We've got flaming arrows and like strength of giants and stuff up, but storm, storm automatically eats half of the missiles, takes half the precision off, and makes fire magic more expensive. Yeah, so it's just cuts down our fire output a huge amount. So in go our monks. We're going to kill these guys without too much issue, I imagine. They've also got fire-resistant warriors and some bark skins up. Our Temple Guardian Beasts attack at the back. Oh, look at that! 1 hit point, 1 hit point. That's so annoying. But they're going to survive. I really wish they would actually flank and hit the back. That's their job, but they're not doing it. We got a Celestial Gift there, coming down in the middle of them. We'll kill a few more Bear Struck. The problem with Bear Struck, and I will have to make this spell more expensive, I think, is that they can quite cheaply just use Nature Gems to make more Bear Struck, and they're obviously very strong for Norsca. So now we've got this big problem. The huge block of fear is just going to tear this morale apart. It's just going to get completely torn to pieces, and they're going to be forced into a rout. And we just don't have enough infantry. You can see we've still got a relatively large number of archers and things, but this is not enough monks and things to stop this block of chosen, and they'll just rout. I mean, the Bear Struck actually did a huge amount of damage. They're very offensively potent. Multiple attacks at very high attack skill. Once they go berserk. And they regenerate, of course. So we are inflicting some damage with our... That was a nice shot. That was a Celestial Gift, just blew up, I think, 3 of them. So Celestial Gifts might be the way that we take out this group, honestly. A Flare landed in the middle of them, but they have fire resistance. So it doesn't really do much. Yeah, Norsca has certainly outplayed me here, the player, and they've just got the right counters. They've got really good stuff against everything I use. I'm using fire. They've got fire resistance. I'm using projectiles. They've got storm and air shield. And then, awe and fear is just a very, very powerful combination. So I hope as many of our guys flee as possible here, but we'll just watch. Our main force is just routers, and we're just going to lose some crossbows and thing now. Might kill a Bear Struck or 2. Ooh, a bit unfortunate. Yeah, 2 fire raid wagons get away. I see some mages getting killed. Another mage gets killed there, and then we're away. So they guessed correctly what we were going to do and took out our southern force quite successfully. And I don't think they lost very much. Let's have a look. So we lose Earth Elementalist, Fire Elementalist. Okay. We lose various warriors, like Carp Warriors, Turtle Warriors and stuff. Most of our crossbowmen, who didn't really do very much, honestly. Iron Body Monks, about 30 of them, pretty bad. One of our Fire Rain Wagoneers, very expensive. A lot of Terracotta, which doesn't really matter. A couple of Guardian Beasts, those are quite expensive. So yeah, bad loss. And then they lose 1 Norscan Chieftain, 21 Bear Struck, so a good number of the Bear Struck killed, but they're very easy for them to replace with Nature Gems. And then 8 of the Norscan Chosen. I think that was really just like there was a Lightning Bolt and some Celestial Gifts and stuff that killed them. I don't think they really died in melee, and maybe some Crossbow Bolts killed some of them. But yeah, so it's a bit under 10% of the Norscan Chosen, not really very heavy damage there. They've still got most of their army left. Killing the Bear Strucks is good, but this is not the kind of attrition that's going to stop them, cause them many problems, and it's not the kind of attrition that I can keep up with losing battles like that. Battling Cliff Coast, we've got Ogres knocking over some province defense. Oh, with some troops. So the Ogres do catch and kill some troops. I doubt they lose anything there. Yeah, some Saber Tusks. Caverns of Neck. Bono's retaking this province with some Warboys against rubbish province defense. I doubt they'll lose anything in that. Oh, they lost 3 Warboys. Fair enough. I guess because it's dark. Sleepy Mountains. We attack. This is their throne site. They've just got province defense. Let's zoom ahead and watch the dragon do his business. So Yuanbo goes in at the back, flattens them. Yeah, fine. He'll claim the throne this turn. Battling Llama. So this is the Wolf Rider squad. Quite effective, cheap little Wolf Rider squad with their group bark skin. We have some province defense here, but it's of okay quality. You know, it might do okay. The problem is the scripting of them is obviously bad, so the knights are going to run ahead and get killed. These are not particularly tough, even with the group bark skin, but you know, they've got good enough stats that they can outweigh the heavy cavalry, basically, just their numbers and things. Some shots come in. See how they do against the heavy infantry. You see a couple of wolves running away there, the riders getting killed, but they've just got the numbers, really. They overwhelm the province defense. Moliton, we attack. Just some province defense, take that out. That's one of their forts, isn't it? Kopos, this is their main force in our area. Quite a few different mages. And they're casting Moss Body, and they've got their Wild Boys there. So a tough little force. I think this force is set up to cast Blood Poisoning to try and kill Dragon Blood. Hopefully we kill a Wild Boy here with this province defense. Maybe not. Let's have a look. One Wild Boy dead. Then we see a battle in Millgate. It is Tomb Kings against some province defense, so that's very one-sided. Events, Misfortune and Unrest. One of our fire elementalists just got banished from the world and is going to die in hell. I mean, that's what you get for playing around with demons. Don't know why you do that. But that sucks for us, just losing a fire elementalist. Witherland, some demon worship. Cathay, a village well turning red. It's all bad stuff in the world. We're kind of in hell world right now. Akist, we've got a monster boar that we need to patrol out. That's one of our forts. Jira, Misfortune, Unrest. And then huge amounts of longship plundering. So just unrest all over the place. These provinces are just going to get annihilated, which is bad for our income. But a lot of them are going to get taken back by Norsca at some point anyway, I imagine. Norscan longships plundering Dunes of Death. Yep, everywhere there's Norscan longships. And they're getting money from all of this. So even though we've taken over a lot of their provinces, their income is probably better than it was, or it's at least kind of maintaining itself because of all this plundering. But there's not really much we can do about it right now. We can't spare the forces to patrol the unrest down and get rid of them. Felden Forest has gnawing rats. That's bad, but it's, you know, far from our homeland. An exceptional harvest in Chilad, nice. And then an unexpected boat eater. A bunch of Tritons have taken control of the province. We get a battle in boat eater. So this is just basic Tritons, but we don't have enough province defense in there, so we lose that one. There are still a lot of them remaining. You know, 60 or so. Yeah, and then unharmed stuff. So what are we doing this turn? Well, we're kind of retreating to our forts and staying away from Norsca. I think this turn they are likely to hit multiple provinces, because they can. They can split up, having destroyed a big army of mine. They're not too worried about running into a smaller army. I cannot really guess where they're going to go, I think. I need to be a bit more cautious and just pull some of my troops out of here. So they're just moving out of the way. We're patrolling in Akist, forging some more bits for Dragonbloods that are coming out. Our economy is still okay, but we are moving some forces south to stop this silliness. I don't want to lose things here, and I want to reconnect up and take over these provinces. So we're going to get to that. Moliton, I'm actually staying on Moliton with Haoshan, although maybe they're going to move their lads back. I tell you what, I'll move him over and abandon Moliton for now, and I'll hit Llama, and we'll see. If they are using blood poisoning and things, then I guess this is probably the right script to use. He actually managed to whip himself with his Thunder Whip and lost his arm to it, so that was not smart behaviour on his part. Hopefully he'll regenerate that. But he's going to go for Llama. And yeah, we'll just have to keep at it. Fowenshire we're going to take... In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and take Caverns of Neck because it's got these sites that I want. And will it be connected up? No, because we would lose Moliton if we do that. Where should I be sending him to connect up these provinces? We're attacking Fowenshire and Umidor, and we're probably going to take both of those without too many problems. We're moving into Kopos there. I guess I do just go for llama, and maybe I guess wrong and get myself killed here, but I think I just need to keep hitting these provinces and keep taking them back as much. And having my Dragon Bloods a bit closer to home is probably a good idea, so I can try and use them against Norska. My problem with Norska is basically that they just have counters for everything I have. The fear is just too much for me to overcome, and I really don't think I can beat them in a battle. But economically, I'm doing okay against them. You can see a lot of their provinces are gone. I'm stealing their throne there. I've still got this force up here. We're moving into the trackless wastes, where a fight could well happen. We will see. We're going to go fire on none, I suppose, with those. We're sending in one of our flyers, Liu Bei. He's going to go and help there. Actually, he is not really suitable to thug up. Maybe instead of doing that, he should just be casting some useful spells. I don't know. No, let's leave him on attack rear. That's fine. Maybe he'll do something useful. Yeah, I think these lesser Thunderwoods are kind of pointless. Let's switch over to doing some lightning bolts. What we got? Lightning bolts. In fact, because they might bring a Stormcaster out here, I should probably have my guys on Summon Storm Power. Summon Storm Power, cast spells. That's fine. And you should probably also switch to Summon Storm Power. And then we'll let you just cast spells as you like. Yeah, so we're going to move a bunch of stuff to Trackless Waste. I don't know if I am going to catch any Norskins there. I was kind of hoping in catching a small group, maybe a group from Norska. I don't know. Maybe they'll be hitting these provinces. Hard to predict them, honestly. They seem to be a bit better at predicting than I am. But I'm attacking in Bitra. I think these guys from Baypon are probably going to spread out and hit a bunch of stuff, which we'll just have to go into a kind of hit and run economic warfare for a while until we can come up with a counter for these guys. I think one thing I can do is if they're going to keep casting Storm, I can have a bunch of air mages. So what I'm going to be doing is recruiting a bunch of air mages, getting a Dragon Blood Lord there, but Kuniral, I was going to get an Imperial Astromancer because he can cast Celestial Gifts, but if they're just going to keep casting Storm, what I can do is have Air Elemental lists cast Storm Power and then Thunderstrike and just smack them with Thunderstrike. That might be a way of killing some of those chosen because they're not doing lightning resistance currently. So I think I'll switch over to doing that with an Air Mage instead. Anything we could do here? We could have a very small force hit Dunes of Death. I guess that wouldn't massively surprise me if that happened. It doesn't have very good... Do any of these have good province defense that I can hire? So if they do, I'll probably do that. So he's sieging. If they don't break from Pantocrator's Legacy, we'll keep that. I'll just throw 6 province defense on that for now. Anything else we can do here? That doesn't have any good province defense I can do. Yeah, not really any good spots for province defense. These are all terrible province defense. This has got tons of province defense, and it would annoy me if they came and knocked it over, but they could. That province defense would do nothing to the army that's moving towards it. And we're not reinforcing everything, so we accept that Wraither might just get knocked over. I guess we can just save our gold. I'm actually bidding on some mercenaries. I'm bidding on them in Norscan lands where I think that they're not going to take provinces. So that I can just use those to help kind of keep some pressure on them. They're not really useful in a fight with Norscan stuff, but they can take provinces and cause trouble generally. And we could use them to siege terrace peaks potentially. I was considering moving forces back there to try and pressure that a bit, but I think it would take too long to siege it when we'd end up getting stuck and possibly hit by a bigger army from Norsca. But it could put some pressure on them. I don't know. I think we'll go for Trackless Waste and, we'll see how it goes. It could be another disaster. I don't really mind. Norsca's playing well and, I've got a bigger economy than them, so I kind of have to root for the underdog to a certain extent. Can we recruit anyone else who would be useful? We're recruiting a bunch of Turtle Warriors because they're good for sieges. They're not very good against Norscan troops, but then nothing I have really is good against Norscan troops currently. I guess we could do a massive volley of... You know what? That might be kind of fun. Peasant Rocketeers. can fire off before storm happens and can just do a massive volley. And it's kind of cool to just try something silly like that. So I think I am going to do that. They're only allowed a certain number, of course. So let's do them. Let's have another fire rain wagon, why not? And we'll have some tortoise warriors. There you go. Let's spend some money. It's just fun to have some peasant rocketeers. I think they're interesting units. Alright, that's everything for now. I'm researching enchantment level 6, evocation level 4, and we'll just see what the next turn brings us. Lots of good fun battles, at least.